Hello family, how you all doing today? Yeah, I know I ain't been on here in a minute. It's like, why haven't you been? Some people are saying that they actually missed my Rennie's Rambles. Like, well, I appreciate you all, I really do. And why haven't I been on here? Well, it's a long story, you know. I had to move out of my old apartment into my new apartment, so that's one thing. I'm sorry, hold on one second. There we go. Buenos dias. Buenos.
Buenos dias.
So, as y'all can see, I'm in a new environment. And it's taken me a while to get accustomed to my environment. Since I had to move, you know, I was so used to where I was at before that everything now has been switched around for me. So therefore, I'm still trying to get accustomed to my surroundings, and therefore I haven't gotten on to be able to explain to you all or talk to you all. So today is my first day of actually getting out and trying to do something. Surprise, surprise, right? But yeah, it's my new area where I live at. It's actually not a bad area. It's kind of like Jamaica Plain. I don't know what it is about these hills. For some reason, like even when I was in Cali, Colombia, I ended up on some darn steep hill, and then I get back from Cali, Colombia, and I had to move, and now I'm back on a hill like Auntie Marionette in Jamaica Plain. But I guess that's a good sign, because to see where the trajectory of where Auntie Marionette came from into where she's at now, it basically shows that I'm headed in the right direction. And pretty much that's what I wanted to talk to you all about today. Today, my ramble is about, we're going to entitle this, Look at Me and Look at You. Look at me and look at you. Meaning, well, there's a meaning to it, and I'm going to explain that to you. Alright, I was talking to my brother, and I encourage all of you all who are my age, who are my daughter's age, look to your past, look to your present, and look to your future, and have real conversations with these people. You know, now, I'm not able to talk to the people who we would consider to be successful in our family, okay? Because either one, they too busy being successful, and they have separated themselves from me. But I'm able to talk to the people who did it wrong, okay, all the time. And don't get me wrong, I'm able to talk to some of the people who've done some stuff halfway good, but the ones that you know, the ones who are doctors and lawyers and, you know, millionaires, I don't talk to them every day. I don't talk to them at all, you know. And then, you know, when you finally get a chance to see him, it's like, cuz, you know, it's that tongue-in-cheek stuff. So anyway, but my point is, okay, talking to my brother, and he's about to retire, and then he says to me, he says, yo dude, I looked into my retirement, you know, my social, because I really don't got a retirement. He has a retirement, but the retirement of what everybody else as an employee retires off of, which is your Social Security and your 401k. He was saying, that ain't no money. I can't retire off of that. He was basically saying that he's only making the same amount of money that I'm making in his retirement, which I'm not ashamed to say what I get from my Social Security. I get $1,000 a month. Okay? So, but then he said something that shocked me. He said, they got this calculator because of him and his wife was, showing the calculator and because she showed him a calculator online, and she was basically saying that even if he would have done it right, meaning if he would have worked for 10 years, okay, because I believe Social Security goes by the last 10 years of what you make, but I would have to ask my aunt about that. I'll see her later when I go to lunch. But the point was, he was saying even if I would have made $100,000 for 10 years, or no, he said over $165,000, over $165,000 for 10 years, then the only amount of money that I would have made coming from Social Security is $3,000 a month. I think he said that's the max amount of money that you can get from your Social Security. Okay, and then I was able to talk to one of my cousins to kind of confirm that, and she was like, yeah, that's pretty much, I was making 6 figures, and she said, I got out, retired, I'm making $2,300 a month. And see, that's why I always say why the numbers are important, because people don't like to tell you how much they make or how much money they get. And I mean, I understand it, because you ain't trying to have people, your family members who ain't got it running up on you asking you for it, or whatever the case may be. But the reason I put the numbers out there, because I know how important they are. I ain't got no money. So I don't mind saying, I'm only getting $3,000 a month, you know what I'm saying? And I gotta make that work. And people can, point their fingers and laugh and say, you's a failure, ha, 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 or whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't care about that. Because my life is, as I said, look at me, look at you. Look at my life, and you can use it as an example of what to do or what not to do. Because that's what I do, to be honest with you. I'm able to look at all of the people who came before me who did it right, and then all of the people who came before me and did it wrong, and then I'm able to make my judgment on what to do with myself. And all I do is I come back and I tell you what I've learned. Like, that's why I'm having this Rennie's Ramble today, because that was something that actually resonated with me when he said that. Because we're always talking about our future and retirement and all of these things, and he always tells me, well, you did it wrong, but you came out okay. But imagine if you would have did it right. And that's what I want to talk to you all about. Because, we're always taught, okay, we're supposed to go to work, from at age 25, because, you go to school, graduate high school, go to college, and then you go get a job at some corporate place, and you're supposed to make 6 figures. If you're lucky, you'll be able to make a high 5-figure salary. And then you live out your life for, you work there for 30, 40 years, and then you retire. And then when you retire at 65, 70, okay, if you're able to live that long, then this is what you're supposed to get. And as I said, there are people who did it right, and here I am, I'm in Panama, and I'm amongst a lot of the people who are living here, and they've done it right, and still they don't even want to talk about what they've done. But some of them actually, no, we do sit down and we chew the fat, and they give me some game on how much money they making. And then it's funny because when I look at it, I'm like, okay, well, you did it right, but me and you are still neck and neck. You see what I'm saying? That's what happens sometimes. I mean, there's some people who got a whole bunch of money here. There's millionaires here, and they got a whole bunch more money than I do. But at the end of the month, they're still only collecting $3,000-$4,000 a month out of their retirement, because that they have to live off of that $1 million. And that's one of the things. Like, okay, with your 401k, for example, okay, because a lot of us ain't gonna be able to have a pension, so we're gonna have a 401k. All right. So if you get out here, you make $40,000 a year in your 401k. You put away 5% of your 401k, which is about $200 to $300 a month. All right. Sorry. I need to let y'all see the sights, huh? I'm sorry. So, back to what I was saying. All right, you retire at age 65, 30 years or whatever, you got $1 million in the bank. Now, that's what everybody's goal is. But how much is that monthly? That's the question. How much is $1 million in the bank monthly? Because you need that $1 million in order to retire. You feel me? And they're saying what you're supposed to do is take that $1 million that you got in the bank, because you need to live off of it, and of course you invest it or whatever in some stocks, mutual funds, whatever, or annuities. You got people who put it in an annuity, and then the annuity will give you about $3,000 a month. So you mean to tell me I done saved, I understand the whole $1 million in the bank thing. Got that. That's good. When nobody's doubting that. Okay? But you mean to tell me if I go, work for 30 years, 40 years, pay into, it's early in the morning, I haven't had I'm walking to get my coconut water and my smoothie. That's where I'm heading to right now. And this is what I wanted to show you. I'm in a totally different area. I'm not during my normal walking path. So I had to create a new walking path, and I did, so that's what I'm going right now. So, back to what I was saying. Some people already done went ahead of me, y'all understand. You don't work 30, 40 years, you done paid into Social Security, and the only thing you get to look forward to is $3,000 a month if you're lucky. But if you was only making, like myself, the average worker, I didn't go to school, I didn't graduate from college, I didn't make six figures, so I'm only making 40 grand a year. So the only amount of money I'm making is between $1,000 and $2,000 a month from Social Security. And then, okay, if I got 401k along with my Social Security, I might have a big lump sum, but I gotta live off of that, which means I'm only gonna be able to collect between $2,000 and $3,000 a month. That's only $5,000 a month to live off of. And if you're good, that's $6,000 a month to live off of. Now, the question for me, the question for you all, class, is there a better way to get $6,000 a month without doing what you're doing? And of course, the answer is yes. So that's why I say the numbers are important, because if you understood, okay, if you did it right, this is what you got to look forward to. And if you did it wrong, this is what you got to look forward to. What are you going to do? I have, and that's what I'm saying. Okay. Here I am, I'm 47 years old. I was fortunate enough to see what my father went through. I'm fortunate enough to see what my aunts and uncles went through. It's good. And I was able to make my decision based on what they done. But it was because I was able to stay connected with the OGs and see them. That's why it's important to talk to the baby boomers and the silent generation. The silent generation, of course, is your grandparents, or a lot of your grandparents now are baby boomers if I'm talking to people who are younger than me. But the people who are my age, okay, my grandparents is your grandparents, the silent generation. And it's weird that our grandparents and the silent generation have more had amassed more than what the baby boomers have. Ain't that crazy? Because when I look at my family and I look at, what my grandparents left, they left houses, stores. And the baby boomers who came behind effed it up. Some of you all. But it's no fault, because there's a disconnect. There's been a disconnect between our generations. Nobody's telling the other one what to do and how to do it. And that's pretty much why I'm having this Rennie's Ramble, is to be able to explain that. There's a disconnect. You're not telling, I'm over here trying to tell my daughter, okay, this might be the formula for you, because I'm looking at what is going on in the US, and here I am, I'm in Panama, and for me, Panama is a big reset, because okay, the cost of living here is lower, but then okay, I'm looking at a person who I let into my home, and he's renting. He just came from Ecuador, and he's telling me, yo, Ecuador's cheaper than Panama. And then of course I went to Colombia in August, and I noticed that Colombia is cheaper than Panama, but all of it is cheaper than the United States. So if you aren't owning in the United States, you're only renting, then you might want to find a small town and buy something and then rent that out and move to some place where the cost of living is a whole lot less. That's the formula. That's the better way of doing things, because if you do it the way that they're telling you to do, okay, at the end of it, when everything is said and done, you'll be too old to do anything else but find a comfortable space to lay down and die. And that's another thing that I see too, is that okay, a lot of these people here, they done worked, and now they done amassed a good amount of money, and the only thing that they can do is just live the retirement life. You feel me? And because they're too tired to do anything else. They're like, oh, we done did the work. We done worked, to be able to get to this far. We want to be able to, enjoy the rest of our days. But then we, at the end of it, what do you have? We got to press the reset button on it. I know I do, because I'm looking at what the person who left me the most, because my father, and my mother left me the most. Shout out to her. That she was one of the people who was doing it right. She graduated from high school, and then she ended up going to nursing school and getting her registered RN's license, and was working at Boston City Hospital, and she was making some decent money, and she was able to buy a house. But she got together with her sister and basically said, hey, you got Section 8, I got good credit, and I got a good job, so how about we buy this house together? I'll let you use your Section 8 to help me, pay for this house. And they was able to buy the house that we lived in. That's what's also important, being able to pool your resources together. Because, okay, you might not have it, but your cousin does, or your sister does, or your brother does. And if you all are able to work together, y'all can accomplish something. But what happens is the disconnect happens. Okay, your cousin goes to college. He graduates, he gets that nice job, and then he don't want to deal with the people who didn't make it. And then he gets, he starts going his trajectory, and the people who didn't do what he did, they go their trajectory, and everybody's disconnected. But the ones who actually said, hey, something, I'm gonna help you, sis, because those are the ones that are able to succeed. Because that's what happened. My mother wasn't able to, she was able to enjoy some of the fruits of her labor, but she died too young. And of course I was able to enjoy what she contributed. And my brother, he was able to enjoy, what she contributed. And now I'm here to be able to pass on that to my daughter. Because I'm not messing that up. That's the one thing I'm not going to do, is mess that up. But that's my point, is, if you do it right and you listen to them, you might only have $6,000 a month to live off of. Keep that number in your head. If you did it right, you might only have $6,000 a month. Is there a better way to make $6,000 a month? And of course, most of us don't even get a chance to do it right. My brother would always say, they give you a 30-year mortgage, but none of us are guaranteed to keep our job for 30 years. And that's what happens too, especially black men. How many times I've been let go from a job? That's why I don't even rely on, jobs. I end up creating my own way of accumulating income. Thank God I had a father who taught me that, because my father, another black man who had a good, successful position working for the Boston, working for the city, Boston City Hospital. He got let go from his job. Now, if he didn't have a good brain, a good mind on him, that would have been the end of his career. But he ended up taking his entrepreneurial mind and his network, because as I said, he would be playing golf at Franklin Park on every weekend and during the week, and he was able to use those connections and to turn that into a six-figure business. He ended up getting into pest control, and when he got into pest control, okay, some of his golf buddies that he played golf with gave him some accounts, and he had the school account. He had, hey, Alison. Bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Muy bien, mi amor.
Oh, me alegra.
¿Ya no tú no venías?
Sí.
¿Estás paseando?
Still, I ain't there yet. Okay, yo quiero pipas, una, y patito, mango, papaya, jijimbre. Gracias. So, anyway, negocio. Yeah, this is my spot. So I'm still not far from the park. I'm just on the different end. Normally, y'all would see me coming from this part, walking this way. But because I live on the other side of the park, y'all see me coming from that way. Well, really, this is the back gate, but there's another gate that I came through, which is like a shortcut. Well, anyway, I don't want to sit here and ramble all day. I do appreciate you all listening to me talk. But yeah, I did want to just talk on that because, I looked at my father. My father was a person, the typical black man, you know what I'm saying, who went to, he graduated. He didn't go to college. He just worked at the factories. He said he was a presser. And that's funny because my grandfather was a presser too. And then he also worked at the scrap yard. These are some of the things that I didn't know. That, here it is, fast forward. I didn't do the presser job. I was in the military. And the presser job is pretty much the ones who worked at the laundry press and they pressed the clothes. So being an SH, I wasn't an SH, I was an SK, but I worked around the SHs, so that's what they did. That, if you go down to the laundry room, they up in there pressing uniforms and pressing, so that was what my father did. So that was a surprising thing. And then, working at the scrap yard, when I lost my job, when I moved to Atlanta, I worked at the scrap yard, or I used, gracias. Gracias. Yeah, she was telling me no, I didn't want to tell y'all. I got my pipas, my coconut water. So, anywho. So, things don't change. The game don't change. You know what I'm saying? I've walked down every path of my ancestors. I've walked down every path of my ancestors without even knowing it. Even though there was a disconnect and they wasn't there to tell me or guide me. Well, I did get some guidance from my father when I got out of the military because I did help him with his pest control business. But fast forward, my father, he was only able to retire with, a month. He had a successful business making six figures, okay? And at the end of it, he was only able to retire with $1,700 a month. So when I look at what he did, I was able to beat that. And you know, I always talk to my daughter now because she's always complaining about what I'm not doing. But then when I look at what my father was able to do for me and don't do for me, I was able to beat that. You see what I'm saying? And then I'm saying to her, okay, well, you know, you're 17 now. You're 18 is in the next 3 months. We're gonna see what you're able to do. And I wish you luck. I hope that you're able to beat me. But in order for you to beat me, you need to know what the number is that you need to be beaten. It's just like a video game. You need to know what the score is. Okay, so if see, a lot of people, they don't want to tell you what the score is. They don't want to tell you what they high score to beat. I'm going to tell you, my high score is $5,000 a month. If you can beat that, then you done beat me. And I hope that you do. Because there's a lot of people out here who are not making $5,000 a month. Okay, and able to live off of $5,000. Because I mean, and that's the point why I live in Panama. Because okay, if you did everything right and you're retired. En agua, por favor. Sí. She just asked me if I wanted my smoothie in water or milk. You know, of course, I don't like fruit and milk, so I always do mine in water. And then she said, "Do you want sugar in it?" Yep, I do. A little bit of sugar doesn't help. Yeah, my Spanish is getting a little bit better. I'm able to, well, you know, when you get the routine, you understand it. So, I'm about to end it, but I just wanted to point out these things before I get off. Look at yourself, where you're at. Look at your family, your mother, your aunts, all of the people who are retiring. Talk to them. Find those numbers out. Even if they don't want to tell you the numbers, you know, just look at what you can do is just, you know, find out what they do for a living. Okay, and when you find out what they do for a living, you know, Google's your friend. Like, all right, what's the average salary of a doctor? What's the average salary of a, you know, an insurance salesman? What's the average salary worker? Average salary of an office worker? And then you'll be able to see, okay, pretty much what the number is if they don't want to tell you. And then you'll understand everything that I'm saying right now. Because if all you can get is $6,000 a month or $5,000 a month working for 30 years, and there are better ways in order to make $6,000 a month, then you might want to focus on that. I'm not saying, you know, quit your job and don't, because of course everybody needs to eat. But what I'm saying is what you do with your paycheck. That's the key. Because if all you're gonna do is just get up and, you know, go to work and pay into Social Security and pay into your 401k, that might not be the lick. Because even, you know, and then of course the recession showed us that a lot of the people who paid into their 401k, when the recession happened, they didn't even have their 401k to be able to fall back on. A lot of people had to go back to work because their 401k wasn't worth anything. So these are the things that I'm trying to, you know, explain to you. All right. Gracias. Thank you. And my smoothie's here. So I'm done rambling. I hope y'all was able to get what I was trying to put down out of it. Because, yeah, it's important for us to be able to, you know, if we ain't passing on the resources that we accumulated, at least pass on the knowledge. Okay? So that's all I'm doing, is passing on the knowledge. I hope I'm able to pass on some resources to my daughter and the kids, my future kids, you know, because as I said, my father, he had a nice successful business in pest control, making 6 figures. Did he pass that down? Nope. Did he pass down any houses? Nope. He passed down a bill. Okay. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes it doesn't go, the cards don't go your way. So at least don't. But the one thing he did pass down to me was, number one, a skill to be able to, you know, go out here and make money on my own. Okay. And he showed me how to do it, how to hustle. And then I, you know, followed some of my other cousins and family to be able to turn it into a business. So, and then I was able to take the little money that I was able to get and turn that into passive income. So that's the key right there. Though I'm trying to give you all the gems that I can, you know, and I hope some of you all listen so that you all can, you know, follow suit. Look at your family. If you can't connect with them, pick their brains, get the knowledge from them. Find out what their score is. Find out what the number is. You see what I'm saying? Alright. This is long, so I'm about to end it right here. Hope y'all enjoy y'all morning. Peace and blessings. We'll talk about this a little bit more in depth. Out.